On Mind, Body and Soul, toning up with Taekwondo, beating depression the natural way, and pumping up the power of yoga. But first, is sugar as sweet as it seems? Ah, la dolce vita, or the sweet life as the Italians are fond of saying. But could life be even sweeter without the sweetness? Sugar is one of the top 3 causes of degenerative disease in the Western lifestyle. Yet each person on average consumes over a pound of this dangerous chemical every day. Americans are the biggest consumers, feeding their faces with between 26 and 135 pounds per year. Ain't life sweet? Even if you're not actively sprinkling the sumptuous-looking granules over your food or adding it to your beverages, you're eating more sugar than you realise. It's hard to find a processed food on the supermarket shelf that does not harbour sugar in some form. Look on the ingredients list. Anything ending in ose is a sugar. Dextrose, glucose, fructose, sucrose, the list goes on. Your sweet tooth could be leading you to an early grave, according to experts. Sugar is an all-round immune system depressant. Vitamin C, which is essential for your immune system to function at peak levels, has to fight the sugar molecules in your body to gain entry into your cells. So grab an unsweetened juice instead of the soda pop when you're out and about and do your health a favour. Not only can sugar depress your immune system, it can depress you. A small study was done on the effects of sugar on mood. It was found that people who gave up sugar and caffeine showed signs of improvement in their condition. Everybody knows the world is getting fatter. Well, you don't have to eat fat to get fat. Your body will store any of the energy from sugar that you don't use as fat, plumping up those cells and adding on dress sizes. Of course, diabetes and cardiovascular disease rise out of this process as well. And while we're being vain, eating sugar is a great way to look older, younger. Sugar can negatively affect the way your body produces collagen, that all-important ingredient that keeps your skin looking plump and wrinkle-free. It also adversely affects the way your DNA reproduces itself. Order some premature lines around the eyes with your next dessert. There is no finer way to upset your body's uptake of minerals and vitamins than by indulging in the sweeter things in life. Sugar is an essentially useless substance to your body. It is devoid of minerals, vitamins, and fibre. In fact, it needs to hijack your body's mineral and vitamin stores in order to gain access to your cells. Osteoporosis, asthma, eczema, and highly attractive varicose veins could all be yours next time you cave into a candy craving. But that's okay, sugar will have degraded your eyesight to the point where you won't be able to see any of the negative side effects anyway. But perhaps the most interesting fact of all is sugar feeds cancer. Tumours love an overabundance of sugar and the resulting acidic environment it creates in the body. Some people cull their sugar intake under the supervision of trained medical professionals to literally cut off the food supply to their cancers. Of course, this is done in conjunction with other therapies. Sugar may contribute to the formation of lethargic alpha waves in your brain, inhibiting your concentration and making you daydreamy at work. Prior to the turn of the century, the average person only ingested about 5 pounds of sugar per year. It was an expensive substance only the rich could afford. Our consumption of the now cheap sweet fuel has increased by over 500% in some cases. Depression, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer have increased exponentially as well. Is this just a coincidence? Or is sugar leaving a bitter aftertaste in the mouths of many? Getting the kids away from the TV or the games console is a challenge sometimes, with childhood obesity now referred to as an epidemic in some countries. Active pursuits for children are in demand. Russell and Janine Traynor have taken their passion for Taekwondo and skills as educators and turned them into a source of enjoyment for all ages, especially children. At the Traynor Taekwondo Academy, a small team of instructors lead their young students on a 10-step path to achieving their black belt in Taekwondo. Along the way, these kids will learn the true value of sportsmanship. They will learn to trust one another through the practice of this ancient Korean art form. They will also gain what all parents wish for their kids: health and vitality. The Traynors are serious about training. Russell and Janine are both qualified school teachers, and here in their purpose-built facility, they can practice something unheard of in many schools: 2 coaches per class. This ensures each child receives plenty of one-on-one training during the class and a high level of supervision throughout. Kids are full of excess energy. Taekwondo, a sporting martial art, is a great way to release it in a safe environment. There's no time for misbehaving in the Traynor dojo because each child has their goal firmly in mind. And by the look on their faces, this serious business is laced with a fair amount of fun. Flexibility is rarely an issue for the young, and these kids are off to a great start, with legs, arms and backs being well flexed in each class. They undergo a lengthy warm-up beforehand, setting good exercise habits for their futures in this and other sports. Young muscles are worked through this kind of exercise, but it's not something that would add kilos of muscle mass. Rest assured, your son certainly won't return home from Taekwondo resembling Arnold Schwarzenegger. This sporting martial art came into its own as a combination of many other martial arts practiced in Korea in the middle of the 20th century. Taekwondo is influenced by several others, especially Japanese karate. It has spread worldwide and became an Olympic sport in the year 2000. Russell's specialised classes are a range of modified Taekwondo games that emphasise fitness, coordination and fun. It's all about building up the self-confidence of the kids. This is an activity they truly enjoy. It has purpose, goals are clear and the path is laid out. Taekwondo is much more than self-defense skills training. It builds trust and respect among the children, words they will understand the true essence of through the practice of Taekwondo. They also learn patterns, sequenced routines of blocks, punches and kicks, and in time, the practical application of the art through sparring. Taekwondo is more than a sport. For many who practice it, it is a lifestyle of physical and mental training and challenges that foster integrity of the spirit, mind and body. Taekwondo literally means the way of the hands and feet. And when these children grow to maturity, fit, healthy, with self-respect and respect for one another, their world will surely be a better place. They, like Russell and Janine, will have something to pass on, thanks to Taekwondo. Contrary to what Kermit would have you believe, it's very easy being green, and mighty good for you too. Dark green leafy veggies are an amazing source of the B vitamin folate, which will have your DNA jumping for joy. This water-soluble vitamin is easily absorbed by your body and is linked to a number of health benefits. An 8-year study of 150,000 women proved that folate sharply decreases the risk of high blood pressure. Other studies have proven it wards off heart disease and strokes. But the most exciting thing about folate for many is its anti-aging properties. It actually helps your DNA reproduce itself with fewer faults. Healthy DNA means healthy-looking cells and a younger-looking you. This is great news for those prone to cancer. Healthy cell division is key to staving off this devastating disease.
It's growing good. You know, they double their weight in the last 6 weeks.
Folate is essential for pregnant women. It's recommended in many countries that you start taking an iron and folate supplement as soon as you know you're expecting, or a couple of months before if you're planning to conceive. Folate's excellent track record with cell division greatly reduces the risk of deformities in infants, such as spina bifida. For this reason, the US made it mandatory for cereals and wheat flours to be fortified with the vitamin in 1998. If you're living in a country where foods are not fortified with folate, you can get your daily fix by munching on some oranges, spinach, legumes and beans. With a diet full of fresh, dark, green leafy vegetables, not only will your genes be happy, you'll fit more comfortably into them too. Nathan has occasional bouts of the blues. He has many interests, but every now and then his mood becomes sullen and despondent. His pastimes hold no interest. After a time, the depression seems to abate. When this happens, Nathan gets on with his life, but the bouts of depression always return.
Hi Nathan, how are you? I'm Hava. How are you?
Nathan has booked a consultation with naturopath Hava Ahmet. Hava specialises in treating people who are affected by depression. Naturopaths inquire deeply into their patient's health status. Hava will question Nathan, specifically in search of a trigger for his bouts of depression. Once the trigger is identified, Hava helps her patients come to an understanding of the situations that spark the condition. Some of the questions she asks are behavioural in nature. Some refer to his bodily functions. Others refer to his life in the past and the present. Hava inquires as to how Nathan deals with stress, if he has mental chatter in his head, and if he sleeps well at night. Throughout the session, she also gathers some knowledge about specific episodes in Nathan's life that may have triggered depression. Through this conversation, several situations where Nathan has bottled his frustration have become apparent, and Hava feels these are the trigger for his changing condition. Naturopaths base their philosophy on the belief that within us all is a unique healing energy. The immune system is part of this, as is the mind. In order to work with this power, naturopaths believe any therapies must be the gentlest, least invasive, and most efficient at stimulating the body's inner healing energy. In Nathan's case, Hava counsels him on behavioural strategies to help deal with the emotions that may be triggering his low periods. Hava also mixes him a herbal preparation. Herbal extracts, tinctures, pills, or a herbal tea may be offered to a patient. Herbal remedies have been used for millennia. Plant medicines used by naturopaths in the late 19th century led to the development of modern pharmaceuticals. Nathan is to take the herbal mixture when he feels the first effects of the depression he wants to say goodbye to forever.
Okay.
Naturopathy has offered Nathan some relief from depression, but regular cases of depression should never be taken lightly.
3 times.
Talk to your doctor if depression is disturbing your
Thank you
life.
very much. You take care.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best mushroom picker of all? That's what 100 people armed with knives and baskets set off to find out recently as they trekked through the Latvian forest in search of these tasty morsels. 28 teams of mushy pickers had a mere 2 hours to come up with the goods. But it was not as straightforward as it seemed. There were only 3 edible varieties in the forest, so collectors had to be in the know. At the starting signal, pickers took to the forest, knowing that at the end of their efforts, a feast of fabulous fungi awaited. Mushrooms are a healthy addition to the diet. Many people consider them a vegetable, but they actually have no roots, leaves, seeds or flowers. Mushrooms, while having been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years, have recently found themselves under the Western microscope as a possible cure for a variety of cancers. Tests have taken place on mainly shiitake, reishi and maitake mushies, but even the common button mushrooms many Westerners enjoy on toast are being touted as a superfood. The humble mushroom is host to a party of nutrients, especially those in the B group of vitamins. Vitamins B1, 2, 3, 5 and 6 are all present and keen to be digested by your body, as are iron, calcium, zinc and selenium. The many curative benefits of mushrooms range from possibly keeping breast cancer at bay, keeping your mind free from age-related cognitive dysfunction, staving off osteoarthritis, and keeping cholesterol in check. Latvians know what's good for them. Mushroom picking is a tradition, with education on which species are edible being passed down from generation to generation. The winning team of this mushroom picking extravaganza hauled in a hefty 2.6 kilograms. They put their victory down to the fact that they decided to head off in the opposite direction to the rest. Latvians believe mushroom picking brings out positive emotions in those that partake in the activity. Is there something they're not telling us? Get set for an hour of power when you partake in this unique style of yoga. Baptiste Power Vinyasa Yoga will have you as lean, lithe and lovely as any Hollywood star. Baron Baptiste developed the yoga after 17 years of dedicated training in both India and America. He studied classical yoga and the more physical Ashtanga, Iyengar and Bikram. Baron began training at the age of 12 under his parents, who pioneered the American yoga tradition. But Baron was aware that Americans needed their own form of yoga, a less dogmatic form that could be practiced by anyone at any age and level. What makes power yoga different from other forms of yoga is that it links breath with continuous flowing postures and salutes to the sun. You just don't stop in this class. A salute to the sun is an ancient sequence of movements set to get your blood racing. Lunges for strength move into down-faced dog, which is an inversion posture to increase the circulation to your head. Cobra increases the flexibility in your back. And crocodile works your arms. It's an all-over body workout that, if practiced routinely, will have you toned and energized all over. Everyone from carpenters to cancer patients can become power yoga aficionados. Concentrating on balance and control this intently works up a sweat that has the calories and stress melting away. A great way to detoxify the body, Baptiste Power Vinyasa Yoga will leave you feeling calm and centered at the end of a challenging workout. An ancient tradition reworked for the busy 9-to-5er. Take a Baptiste Power Vinyasa Yoga class and go with the flow. caressed by the tender purple petals of the Crocus sativus linnaeus flower, are the fine golden tendrils treasured by cultures all along the Silk Road. Saffron has been part of culinary, spiritual, and healing tradition for centuries. According to herbal lore, the benefits of this much sought-after ingredient make saffron worth more than its weight in gold. The ancients believed a drink made from the stamens of this flower beneficial to the respiratory tract. Just a few tendrils dropped in warm milk would heal a cold, according to the old remedy. This recipe is still enjoyed by people around the world today. Ayurvedic medicine advocates the use of saffron to heal respiratory problems, treat alcoholism and diabetes, and diminish skin complaints such as eczema, just to name a few applications. Western medicine also advocates the use of saffron as an all-round immune booster, which has special benefit for the respiratory tract and the digestive system. In a recent study on depression, saffron was found to be just as effective as Prozac in alleviating the condition. But at £100 per ounce, it's currently an expensive option. The value of this potent healing plant has been immortalized in many cultures. The bright orange robes of the Buddhist monks pay homage to the healing powers of saffron. Today, the biggest producer of the world's most expensive spice is Spain. When selecting saffron for therapeutic uses, it's most preferable to choose the intact stamens over the powdered variety, as the powdered form can be easily adulterated. There are several types of saffron. Always select the richest and reddest in colour of this bitter spice when using it as a health supplement, and make sure to get medical advice before treating yourself with saffron. Amounts and preparations vary with age and ailment. Do not ingest saffron if you're pregnant. But once you get the okay from your medical practitioner, the health benefits of the spice from the golden age of herbal healing are yours. Join us again on Mind, Body and Soul as we discover more paths to health and happiness. But for now, Dominique gives us some food for thought.
Most of us equate being productive, being busy, being functional, being useful with being tense and uptight. Our muscles tight, our minds tight, ready to spring into action, constantly on all the time. Try instead, just right now as you listen to the sound of my voice, as you feel yourself sitting in your chair, notice that you have the ability to listen, to watch, to feel, to be engaged in the world around you without being tight in your mind. The next time you're out walking, the next time you're cooking, the next time you're driving to pick up your children from school, notice again that you have the ability, if you want, to be active, to be engaged in your life without feeling tight internally. Your breath is the key to accessing this space. So the first step is to just notice the breath moving in and out of your body. Notice that there is an internal presence, and from there allow yourself to be active, allow yourself to move, to function, to be productive without being tight.